Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Welcome to today's Reader's Workshop lesson. And just like this week, we've been reading the nonfiction textbook called The Moon. And so today we're going to be talking about how we can find out what the meaning of a word is using lots of different things. So I wanted to ask our teachers, what have been some ways, some strategies we've already learned so far about how to understand what an unknown or unfamiliar word is? So I'll give our teachers some time to think. It could have been a lesson I taught yesterday or another lesson that you've taught before. Miss Kimowich?
I remember that yesterday we looked at the photograph in the page that talked about the moon phases, and we learned what a quarter of the moon is through the photograph.
Very good. So photograph is a really good text feature that we can use to help us understand a word. Miss Rosales, do you have another thought?
Yes, you also asked us or informed us that there is a section, a text feature called glossary, and it's normally found in the end or at the back of the book, where it lists vocabulary words, key vocabulary words, and definitions for us to understand what the word meaning is.
Mm-hmm. And I just flipped it to the back of the page just to show you what Miss Rosales is talking about. The glossary is kind of like your little mini dictionary in the back for all the words that the book thinks that you need to know. So that's another good strategy. And today we're going to learn a different one. I'm going to go back to the page we were reading because sometimes our authors are really, really nice to us and they know that we're going to get confused. So they tell us right away. So I'm going to read this text and show you that sometimes it's actually right in front of you. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to have you guys give me a thumbs up when you're able to see when they tell us the definition of a word we might not know. Okay, so when you're watching at home, you can also pause the video to give yourself some think time. So here I go. The moon is made of rocks and dust. There are high mountains on the moon. There are holes called craters there too. The craters were made when big rocks crashed into the moon. So readers, did you notice that the author gave us a definition of a word in here already? And if you can see it, give me a thumbs up and let's talk about the sentence and how you figured it out. Miss Rosales?
So not really sorry, there were a couple words that stood out for me. Moon, but also craters.
Mm-hmm.
So with the first one, moon, it let us know within the sentence the composition of it. So it's made of rocks and dust.
Mm-hmm. So with that sentence, sometimes most sentences there, a lot of nonfiction texts do a lot of explanation. So they're explaining to us what the moon is made out of, right? And so I didn't even think about that, Mr. Rosales, but the word I was actually thinking about that I was having a hard time understanding was a word called craters. I was like, what is a crater? Like I've heard it before, but I have no idea what it is. So was there a sentence in this text that could help you understand what the word crater means or what it is? Missy Kimowich?
Yes. So the sentence right before it says there are holes called craters, or the first sentence. And so it told you what the object means by saying there are holes. So holes on the surface of the moon that are named craters. So that told us the different word for holes on the moon is craters.
Mr. Rosales, would you like to add on?
Yes. So going to that idea that the moon has its composition, I actually looked at the second sentence where it said the craters were made. They were created when big rocks crashed into the moon. So that was how it was created.
Great. And so what Ms. Yukimowicz was talking about was how in this sentence, sometimes you might read a sentence and you're like, wait, craters? you might need to go back, reread it to see, oh, did I miss a detail there? Because I noticed that it said that's what a hole is. That's what holes on the moon are called. They're called craters. So we know that craters are holes on the moon. And then Ms. Rosales told us that if we want to add more detail to explain how they were even created, we can read the next sentence. So the cool thing about nonfiction texts is they're trying to teach you something. So they're going to try to be as clear as they can about what the word means. And so it's really important to pay attention to the sentence in the paragraph or on the page before it or after it to really understand what a word means. So boys and girls, today I screenshotted a epic book page on the moon as well for you to find out what the word means. And I've underlined the word for you that I want you to go figure out the meaning of on our SeeSaw account. So you need to go log in. Please make sure you watch this whole video and replay it if you need to see how we figured it out. And then you can type up your response on SeeSaw. Thank you so much for joining us today, and we're so excited to hear your thoughts and how you became a vocabulary detective today in understanding your meanings. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.